I just want to do a quick video on perching or choosing your place to perch. Perching being obviously where you park up to find your next job. I haven't had to do this for a while, but like the last few months, generally where I've finished hasn't been such a bad area, and I've perched there just where pretty much around the corner from where I dropped or wherever. I managed to get my next job. Whereas today is a Monday, so I started at home in the West Mids. I picked up a reasonable job. It's a short wheelbase job, picking up in Birmingham, but like maybe about 12-13 miles from where I live. And then it was over to Lincoln, 2 drops in Lincoln. So I priced it 75p a mile, including getting there, so it's probably about 80 pence a mile. It was 2 drops, and it was Lincoln. I've never been to Lincoln before. And I kind of like going to places I've never been before. You know, you don't always get a chance to have a look around, which probably wasn't a great business decision. But sometimes I found if you take a gamble and go to somewhere that's a bit sort of isolated, Lincoln's a reasonable sized town, but it's a bit out of the way. For me, generally, it pays off, especially when I'm in tramping mode Monday to Thursday, because it means any job that comes up I can pretty much bid for. That will fit in my van. Obviously not the case on Fridays because I'm trying to get home. Yeah, so I've got here and I've tipped just after 1. So it's been just over an hour since I tipped, and very few jobs have come up. None in Lincoln. One come up in Grimsby, an area, and I've bid on a few jobs but not got them because I've always been at least 30 minutes away from them. So I'm just going to quickly go through now, when I'm in this situation, what I do to decide, do I stay here and chance it? Do I move on? And if I am going to move on, to perch somewhere else where I'm more likely to get a job, obviously means accepting dead miles to get there, which is never good. So I'm interested to know, anyone who's currently doing this, do you think this is a good way? Are there other things I could do? If you're not on the CX, it'll give you a bit of insight into perching, because one thing with the CX, it's not a passive work. You really have to search for work, bid for it, consider what you're quoting, kind of use your head really and think about it, what the shipper wants, kind of thing, to get the jobs. You don't just park up, sit there, and then there's plenty of jobs to choose from. It just doesn't work like that. Sometimes it works out well, sometimes it doesn't, and sat around for hours, as you would realise if you watch my vlogs. Quite often, not rare for me to sit around for 3-4 hours for my next job. So that's enough of an intro. So I'm going to use a different app on my phone now, so I should be able to film my actual screen. So I'm going to give that a go for the first time. Right, so the first step I do is find out where exactly am I and how far am I from other places, other towns. So yeah, I'm just going to hit things. So that's me in Lincoln, and zoom out to see where else around here. So you've got Newark-on-Trent. I've seen some jobs from there. Gainsborough, Scunthorpe to the north, Grimsby to the northeast, and then Skegness, Boston. But in all reality, there's very few jobs going to come out of west of here, like Skegness, Boston, Mablethorpe. Grimsby's a reasonable sized town. Might be some jobs coming out of there. Scunthorpe, I've done a job out of there before. Been there once, got a job, no trouble. So you've got Grantham to the south, and Newark-on-Trent. Newark's obviously a reasonable sized town, and it's right on the A1, so yeah, that's probably a good place, but there's probably more people around that area. So what I can do, step 2 is go back to Courier Exchange app. I'm going to go who's nearby and see what my competition's like for jobs in the area. So you can see there's actually quite a few people in Lincoln, quite a few people available. So if I click on that one, medium wheelbase, get the idea. There's actually quite a few people in Lincoln, really, considering there's no work coming up here. Scunthorpe, there's a few people, but less green, more reds. Grimsby, only 2. And then you go down to Newark. There's a few there, but only one available. It looks like he's on the A1 by the looks of it, but he's probably travelling in or out the area. So that is where I am and where other drivers are. So yeah, not looking very promising. So I could go towards Newark. Other reasonable towns where I could get a job: Scunthorpe and Grimsby. So just quickly go into Google Maps again, type in Grimsby town, and that'll tell you down here, Grimsby, 55 minutes. I had directions, no directions, but 55 minutes, 34 miles. 55 minutes is too far to get a job, really. Very unlikely going to get a job if you're nearly an hour away. So Grimsby is a no-go. Scunthorpe, Scunny, as I believe it's called locally. Again, 57 minutes, too far away. Yeah, so there are two major towns, the north and northeast, and very little is going to come up down here, but that's kind of ruled out them two towns. But something else you can do is go on to, actually I need to open it up, so yeah, I'll stop it just there for now. Yep, so something else you can do, so this is just Google Chrome or whatever app it is on my phone. So I'm looking at a Courier Exchange website, and you see I've not logged in, top right hand corner to log in. So this is, even if you're not a member, you can see this. You go down and it will say views on there currently. You've got list view and map view. This is for the whole country. So go on to map view, let that load, and it will show you live loads available. And I'm just going to scroll to sort of Scunthorpe, where I am. A bit slow. So you can see Lincoln 7. I believe this is in the last 24 hours. I always take this with a pinch of salt. If you watch my vlog from Scotland a while back, yeah, there's not much I kind of lost a lot of faith in this, and I think it's in the last 24 hours, but it gives you a rough idea of how many jobs are coming up. So you got 13, 18 in Scunthorpe and Grimsby, very little to the west, so obviously it's pretty no-brainer. I'm not going to go west from here. The major towns north of here are too far away. Lincoln 7 and around, that's alright. Newark only 7 as well, but I think if I get to Newark, that is going to be much better links there, because I can, if a job does come up in Lincoln again, I could pop back here. Newark is on the A1, so much better going north and south, and the jobs that have come up tended to be around Newark as well. The job's not come through for like 15 minutes or so, which isn't a good sign. So that's something else you can do. So if I go, looks like I'm going to go back to Newark now. So I'm just going to type in Newark just to see how far it is. Newark-on-Trent. 36 minutes. So that's okay. If I go distance-wise, I'm going to have 20 dead miles to get there though. So whereabouts in Newark do I want to be? I would say this junction here. A1, A17, A46. Looks like a good junction to perch. Zoom in. There's the McDonald's. So that's where I'm going to perch. McDonald's car park. Satellite view. And you can see there it's quite close to all these industrial areas. You can generally tell how much industry is in a town by looking at satellite view, and you can see all the big buildings with the white roofs. So Newark, it's got a reasonable amount of industry and stuff. It's quite interesting with this, because I remember a while back I was perched in Bath, and I looked on Bath, and there's a Bath, whatever, by down south, not far from Bristol, and there's very little sort of industry in that kind of place, which is kind of worth considering, but it's not the be all and end all. So I'm going to head over to McDonald's just off that junction of the A1. Yes, that's just a basic and quick walkthrough of what I do when I'm in this situation where I've landed at somewhere like Lincoln, which is a bit quiet, a bit out of the way, to work out where I'm going to have to move to and take some dead miles to get to in order to be a better place to pick up a job, basically. So yeah, hope you've got something out of this short video. As ever, if you've got any tips for either me or anyone else who watches this video regarding this, where to perch, etc., please put them below. Thanks for watching.